Natural Resource Board to order, and we will please stand and pledge the allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Could we have roll call, please?
Andrea Ring.
Here. Present.
Gilbert Gordian. Absent. Rose Glacier.
Here.
James Clifton.
Here.
Ann Lucier.
Here.
Vicki Tunker.
Here.
Bob Progluski.
Here.
Dick Kroll.
Here.
Mr. Wiragoda. Thank you.
All right. Are there any agenda modifications? Okay.
I just have a question. Was mine an excused absence? Or
I don't know, and I don't know.
should be right if I was on vacation? I said my absence should have been an excused absence, being on vacation.
What part are we talking about? I'm confused.
The roll call from last month.
Last month's minutes on the members not present. Rose wants that to include the word excused.
If the commission modifies that adjustment, then we'll change the minutes.
Okay. All right, does, I hear nomination for approval of minutes?
So moved.
So moved. Okay, now this is tricky. Dick is an alternate. Do we have to stick to just present members? No, we have an absent member. One alternate can vote. So, okay, Dick will be the alternate voting today.
That's correct.
Okay, all right, thank you. Second, thank you. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
A clarification, we're approving the minutes with the one modification. Excuse.
Yeah, okay. All right, we have to elect a vice chair since most of the board is here. I really would like to get a vice chair elected tonight, please. Somebody. Nobody wants to be vice chair.
No, can I nominate somebody?
Sure.
Vicki. Oh, no, thank you. Decline.
No. Okay. How about Bob? Mr. Pukowski, would you mind being
I think he'd be good. He would be good.
Yes, I'd be happy to accept the nomination as vice chair with so the board is well aware of my intentions. My term on the board actually expires, I believe, in April of 2017. So I may not be reappointed, and I have a lot of other things going on, so I may not ask to be reappointed. I just want to be clear, but I would be happy to accept a nomination as vice chair at least until that point, if I am selected.
Okay, thank you. Is there any other nomination? Since we only have one nomination, we do not need to vote, and Mr. Pukowski is vice chair.
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Bob. All right. We are now up to the invasive plant brochure that was purchased, and I did see it. It's really nice. And I took a lot of them up to the master gardener at the library, and she was very happy to get them. And she said that they were going to be giving them out the next weekend when they were in Vero Beach. They do other things, so she really liked them. So, thank you. for the, work on that. Does anybody else want to say something about the invasive plant brochure?
Yeah, Madam Chair, just curious, how many did we end up actually getting, for the board members for Earth Day and so on? I think we were gonna purchase 500, I'm just asking the question, I don't know, I was just curious how many we got.
I didn't know, but it was a full box. How much is in a full box?
Depends on the brochure.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm assuming, because we got a huge box of them.
Great, thank you.
Anything else on the invasive plants? Champion tree update, purchase. I also took the, the Champion Tree Program to, the Master Gardener also, and she was happy to get them too. She told me that Vero Beach had started a Champion Tree Program, and they were gonna go look into it to see what was going on. And, she liked ours because I did tell her that we had the state website in there. So she took them to make sure people got the state website for the Champion Tree. And I told her about our Champion Tree, and she said she was gonna go down and look at it. I don't know if she did or not. But anything else on Champion Tree? All right. The working waterfront oyster bag update? Do we have an update?
I'm still working with the permitting, so until I get that all taken care of, we're waiting for me to submit the permit.
Okay, thank you. All right, Earth Day, April 22nd. Do we have anything about Earth Day? April 22nd, all right. One of the things I was thinking about, was, if we do a senior, an adult scavenger hunt, I was thinking maybe the prizes could be a Visa gift card. Do you think that would, and maybe we can give one or two? I don't know, maybe a Visa gift card give out as the prize for if we do an adult scavenger hunt? Okay.
No, on that topic, I wasn't sure, I know Rose, you did a great job last year contacting vendors. I know we're just coming back and not having had a meeting in a couple of months, and I didn't know if you were willing to start contacting vendors or what you would recommend as the next steps to make sure we have a successful event again this year.
Are you interested in going back to it? I know it used to be your...
it was mine, but I was gonna say to you, I'll help you, the two of us together, and then anybody else that wants to help. But I know when I did it before, we started contacting them through email saying, save the date type thing, because most of them by November know what they're gonna do January, February, March, and April. So I think we need to get on the bandwagon with notifying them that we've got a date.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's why I brought it up, is I think some of the vendors develop their springtime schedule long-term in advance of where they're gonna be.
Yeah.
Last year, we had already put the notice out by now, so we can go ahead and do that.
Thank you.
So I will chair it again, and if Ann will help me,
I'll help her.
we'll co-chair together.
All right, thank you.
Chair, just to highlight again, your budget is the same as last year. The council approved $1,000 for the Earth Day overall marketing, so you had the same budget to move forward.
Okay, we're in a new fiscal year, so we have the $1,000.
So do we want to go ahead and start lining up bands again and do the same thing as we've done in the past with $50 a member?
It's your call.
If I make
It's
a
your call.
proposal to line up bands again at $50 a member like last year?
It's your money, it's your call, yes.
Okay.
Okay, Rose made, who seconded?
I'll second it.
Bob second. Do we need to take a roll call on that, or roll call? Okay, roll call, please. To 50, I don't know if $50 is gonna be enough. I think last year we Were they,
They were all willing to do it for that.
They were? Okay, all right.
Would you repeat the motion, please? What's the motion?
The bands at Earth Day Festival, we had paid them $50 per member the last couple of years to perform for us. So like Hairpiece has 2 members, they got $100, but the closing band had 4 members, so they got $200.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Andrea Ring,
Yes?
Rose Glacier,
Yes?
James Clifton,
Yes.
Ann Lucier,
Yes.
Vicky Tunker,
Yes.
Bob Grulewski,
Yes.
Dick Kroll,
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Miss,
Yeah.
We just need one alternate.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
On adding to that, when I did it before, we had no budget, so everybody volunteered, so it was a lot harder to get entertainment. So it worked out really well last year, for sure.
And can we think also, when you're contacting the vendors, if they still want to donate items were we okay with what we did last year with them, or do you think we
Yeah,
should
the
do
door
something
prizes?
different this year?
You're talking the door prizes, the giveaway?
We're gonna give,
Do it with questions again?
Yep.
yeah.
I would highly recommend some of the bigger retailers, like Walmart came through at the end, maybe want to hit them up again, and so that way you're in advance to let them know what's going on, so they can maybe contribute even more if they want to. Because I think they gave us the bike last year, right?
Yes, they did.
Yeah, they, and that was for the little kids, and, they had to do the 3 events. I'm trying to think of visas for
It
if
was
we
with
do the
teenagers, too.
adults.
It was all ages.
Okay,
Yeah.
for all.
Anybody
And
could do
then, and then but all the vendor, donations that we get from the vendors still do, and maybe we should put a time limit rather than all day at the park.
On what?
On the, calling questions out to give away, all day still?
I'd keep it going all day.
Yeah, I would
Don't
too.
discourage anybody for coming in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
all
we're
right.
not there for 12 hours, so I think what we did was a good thing, because it kept people's attention. Once they realized what we were doing, then they were paying attention.
Okay. And then somebody will need to think of questions. Rose did it last year.
We can all do that.
We're open to anybody turning in any questions.
Chair, may I suggest maybe you take your last year's schedule or your agenda and bring it back at the next commission meeting, start going and divvy up some of the tasks, and make sure you have, if you want like the police dog to be there, get them on as soon as possible.
Last year, we didn't have a lot of people viewing that.
The canines?
Mhm.
Okay, that's up to you, I'm just,
When we had it, it took everybody over to the waterfront, and a lot of them didn't come back to the park, so at that time, the park kind of emptied out, because that and the oyster bags was going on back to back and kind of overlapped. So I don't know if we should give them a break or
I'm just throwing that out
do
there right
something
now.
else.
Yeah.
On another point, Mr. Watanabe, we had some, I wouldn't say confusion, but we were trying a new effort where we were keeping the food vendors on the hard surface last year and not in the park on the grass. What is the policy now? I know it seems to be vacillating a little bit.
Yeah, I will check with the city manager. We just had our clam bake, and as you are aware, the vendors were on the grass.
Right.
So let me verify. I think we have now a better, like a pattern in terms of what we see. If it's a city function, that we're going to have city vendors that like the food, which want to stay as close as possible. Let me find out if they're going to be allowed to be on the park as in clam bake. And then everybody else has to bring their stuff in, which makes sense. But I'll ask the city manager.
Thank you.
I did see, though, some people offloading into carts and bringing it onto the grass. They weren't all parked on the grass. They had their own parking spots, emptied their cars or trucks, whatever they were putting all their wares in.
Semis.
Yeah, well, the semis were on the grass, but they went to a parking spot, so they moved. So the smaller vendors did that. They weren't parking on the grass.
Well, in general, I think our strategy last year where we kept the vendors on the hard surface
That's right.
conceptually worked pretty well, but they were, I think some of them were kind of further removed from all the main crowd, and they weren't real happy about the walk-through traffic they were getting. So there may be other alternatives with the new parking and all that kind of stuff. But and most of the vendors that I talked to weren't dissatisfied with having to use like the hand carts to bring stuff in.
Right.
They worked well.
They were very cooperative, but I felt we need to maybe reevaluate how we get the food vendors enough traffic,
And
whatever that case may be.
Last year I had 7 lined up and 3 showed up.
Right.
And I agree with that. I think they didn't get us the traffic that they should have gotten, and that's important to have them there. Unless you were the crepe lady who was inside the park, she did phenomenal because she was in there. But if it's a food truck, so we got to do something a little bit differently. I don't know what, but
Yams, the ice cream place, I think should be able to be in the park because they don't have a big thing. They're just a little cooler. And if the crepe people are in, I think the ice cream people should be in. But then that one, he didn't show up. New York
Nick?
didn't show up. But when he showed up, he
came.
He came?
He came
Yeah,
late,
he was
but
there.
Oh, he came late. Oh, that's
And he was busy the entire time.
Oh, good. Okay. I didn't see him. Okay.
I'll get you an answer from the city manager.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Anything else for Earth Day?
No.
no.
All right. The sewer brochure. Jim went and purchased that one too. Just dropped it off. I saw it. It looks okay too. I mean, that was one of the things I did ask is that we try to consolidate all our stuff in one place. So they have opened up a place for us to store all our brochures, and it's in a locked. And our banner is in there, right?
Yep.
So it's behind the community place.
It's in a community development office, so it's in a room that's secured.
Yeah. Okay. And Spoil Island update from Mr. Griffin.
Okay, I guess I had a memo that was generated. But I don't see it attached here. Essentially, I believe, again, I'm going back on memory here, the DEP's anxious to have us participate in, let's say, rehabbing or cleaning up IR-8. At this point in time, there's one Australian pine and one multi-trunked Brazilian pepper that need to be removed to get it back to totally native vegetation. It's not a huge task. I'm thinking myself and one, possibly 2 people is all we need. It's small. It's a small space. So you get a chainsaw going and you don't want too many people floating around. So I'm basically looking for 1 or 2 other volunteers, and we do need a boat to get out there. My understanding is at this point in time that the city with the Matthews aftermath, they're still very involved with dealing with those issues. I would like to get out there relatively soon because the Brazilian peppers are getting ready to set next year's seed, and I'd like to get it taken out before it becomes they become ripe, if you will. So.
Did you have a date you're looking at to do this?
I don't have a date. Once I find out who wants to do it and somebody that's got a boat.
I have a boat.
We can arrange a date to go out and do that. So.
I have a chainsaw too.
Okay, well, yeah, sounds good. So I've got a volunteer? Okay, well, if anybody else wants to.
I'll go. I don't have a problem. How are we going to get rid of the pepper tree, though? Where is that going to go?
Well, what most desirable would be to bring it back ashore and dispose of it, but That's gonna be difficult.
Commission?
So we will,
If you would go out there and take care of it, I think, because it may not be that day, but as soon as you could free up Public Works, and in the past, we had our Public Works people, but we had a person who was very interested. He's no longer here. However, if you collect whatever debris and leave it on the island, they'll pick it up and bring it back here. That makes,
pile it up on the
pile up, and
island?
they'll go out there with our Public Works boat and pick it up. I think
Okay.
that's doable. But right now, they can't be out there because of the debris removal stuff and the limited staff, but I think if you pile it up and it's there, in a short time, they'll go out there and within their time frame to pick it up.
Okay, beautiful. They did want us to, the DEP suggested we left the trunk of the Australian pine, take the limbs off of it, leave the trunk there as a wave break. But other than that, the Brazilian pepper is small. It's a bunch of small branches, so, okay, we'll cut them up in like 4-foot lengths and stack them as convenient for you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, beautiful. Okay, thank you.
Now, what date are we gonna do this? What's good for you, Vicki, since you have the boat?
I can go anytime, basically, other than the 23rd. I have to cook at the soup kitchen.
Get up with you later.
Okay. We'll get up after this.
I don't have my calendar with me either,
Okay.
Okay, thank you. They will get together and do the spoil island cleanup. Thank you. All right. Anything else from, all right. Do we have public input? Somebody? Come on up. Hi.
Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Bob Stephen. I live at 150 Concha Drive. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here. This is a good turnout. I just got back from up north and really excited to see this many people in the Natural Resource Board. In the future, I'd really like to volunteer on wherever I can to help you all. I'm here again this year to work on the cleaning up the fresh waterways in Sebastian. I'm working with some other people, and we're trying to get the city to stop using glyphosate to kill the foliage. We think we can get some federal grants to go in and take care of this. We've offered 6 alternatives to the poisons that they're using currently, and it would actually be less money, but we're asking for help from you all to at least get us on the table to sit and talk with city officials about alternatives to using glyphosate on killing things in our fresh waterways. We think this is a natural resource in Sebastian, our natural the waterways, but right now they're being killed with poison. So I think if we stop doing that, we might have some natural resources again. There are some other things, some ideas. So if you guys could help us out at all in the future, I know James, you've helped us in the past, and where you headed us the last time is still an issue. There are still some questions on the permit and the procedures that they're going about using this product. So we could maybe go a little further on that. That maybe are in. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a scientist on this stuff. I'm an old car mechanic from New England, but I just know right and wrong, and I live on this canal, and I see 2 big canals meet. Whenever the glyphosate is put into our canals, everything dies, and the birds leave. So it's devastating. And I stopped breathing improperly, but that's another issue. I don't breathe anyway, so. Thank you all for being here. It's really nice to see this many people. And for sure, we'll get together, we'll get the whole town together and start doing some great things, because it was a great town. I think it could be again. Thanks.
Could I ask one question? Do you mind if you said there were you had 6 alternatives without going into a lot of details. I'm just curious what, either you could provide them to us in writing.
And I believe we did, and we sent you all a lot of information on this last year, but we can update you on the MSDS sheets on what's being used currently. We got shut off last year by Applied Aquatics. The city manager told Applied Aquatics we couldn't communicate anymore. But before that, we had sent you all packets on MSDS sheets, what was being used on it. And James brought up some interesting information about what we should be looking at. But as private individuals, it's hard to get things going. That's why we really need some organizations. We're working with the Friends of the St. Sebastian River and a couple other places that are neutral that maybe we can, let's look outside the box on this, is what we're looking to do. And right now, there are federal grants. Right now, the government wants this lagoon cleaned up. So the people that I've talked with at all the Indian River Lagoon Council meetings are all saying the grants that are written properly to help clean the waterways up right now are all flying. So they said there's a good chance that we can get the initial cost of the cleanup of our waterways and then a long-term plan where we take care of the waterways. I mean, wouldn't it be neat to have birds and animals and fish back in our fresh waterways? Wouldn't that be neat? And wouldn't it be really neat to show the state of Florida that we can have a lively freshwater system going through this city and actually have stormwater parks that are operating, the pumps are actually running, stuff like that? I think it'd be neat. You know, open up the mosquito traps again, do the right thing. Let's go back. I'm old, and I keep saying to everybody, you know, I like the old days, but let's go backwards a little bit and do less with big amounts of money and poisons. Let's go back to the old days. I think maybe we could spin this city back into the old ways. Sure would be nice.
I have a question. Could you give me a hard copy, please? I have a box here.
Yeah.
Dan, could you just put a hard copy in my box just of the 6 elements? I'd appreciate it.
Yes.
Thank you. It's right back.
And anybody else who wants to communicate with me in the future, you know, and my house is open for y'all to come in and have coffee. James has been there, and he sees right where I live. I live in right where 2 big waterways meet, so it's really interesting to watch. I would recommend you come 2 days before Applied Aquatic shows up, because usually the big birds start coming back about that time, and then come the day after Applied Aquatic shows up, and they've doused the foliage with the glyphosate. And then come 3 days afterwards, 4 days, and you'll smell the death and the terrible situation that's happening. I mean, I'm not a scientist, and I can't put this into words for Dwayne and all these other people, you know. Oh, you gotta prove it, you know. Gotta throw it on. I can smell it, I can see it, you can feel it. The big birds actually yak. The big birds fly over the day after the poisoning, and they start, and they disappear. You know, and talk to the old fishermen. The stuff is dead in those canals, you know. We need to start cleaning them up, stop poisoning. And that's old school for me, you know. Let's do some little thing that's kind of positive, especially if it doesn't cost money. Mm-hmm. Let's stop spending money. Let's do little things that are less toxic.
Thank you.
You know.
Do you have a written proposal for what you are suggesting?
We're in the process of that. We were shut down last year, and both of my partner and I left for the summer. We were up in the north, so yeah, we can do that again.
We need that to look at and evaluate and go forward from there.
And we need your help for input on that stuff too. I mean, I think we should all put this together as a think tank. I know we are under the Florida law or the Sunshine Law, but I think we need a think tank here. And it wouldn't hurt to get some kids involved, some biologists and some kids from the local colleges and high schools that are involved in this and would like to get involved in it. My process is going slower every day and every year, but I know so I think if we brought the youth in, and I see we've got some youth here, it would help me and some other people like me, that we could get things going. It would be nice to stand up on the map again as a quaint little fishing village, not a place where fish die. You know, I know we can't fix that out there yet, but that's what the Indian River Lagoon Council is trying to do, the big connections with federal governments. But maybe if we just connected with our own little waterways and stop doing certain things that are harmful and start doing right things and see what's available for grants. I have the names of people that can help us write the grants. Maybe we can suck these waterways out, get the muck out of the waterways and stop being natural, start having some natural landscape and go from there.
But we can't stop what we're doing until we get something else to replace it, right?
The old timers will argue that with you, and they don't believe that we have to do anything. I do believe we should get the red peppers out of the canals I mean, you know, Mr. Waranabe will quote the regulations from the water district and stuff, and they say, you gotta keep the flow of water going. Well, I live on those canals, and the flow of water is gonna stop by these huge pepper trees that are as big as this room. But the glyphosate doesn't even affect those.
I think that's what they try to get with that stuff is
They just laugh at it. I think it feeds them. Because they're out of control in the canal. But then we're not doing anything to stop those. But there again, you know, we can talk with the Friends of St. Sebastian River. They've recently written a grant to control red pepper trees, and they got that. So maybe we can go on something like that towards our big goal of and write the grant to keep our waterways flowing, and we can bring the pepper trees involved and eradicate the ones on our waterways maybe. Because obviously what's happening isn't working for that. And I have neighbors that say that we can put the right plants on the edges of our storm walls, sea walls they call them, that'll keep the erosion down, but yet they won't be invasive and they won't come out into the canal. So we plant the right things along the edges, you know, Mother Nature will take care of things. And we do have an erosion problem where they shoot the glyphosate on the edges of the sea walls that everything dies. And then the water, when it starts flushing, it erodes and back to the seawall. So a lot of people are concerned about that. And I know you all cities thinking, oh, we're going to replace those or go natural. I know that's a big issue, but maybe we'll let Mother Nature heal a few things.
Okay,
Let's go slow. Maybe we ought to get you all a subscription to the Mother Earth News. I don't know whether any of you are old enough to remember Mother Earth, but it was a good magazine. It came out every month. And in August, the front page of Mother Earth News was glyphosate, question mark. Why is the world questioning this product? Monsanto's. Thanks.
Thank you. Yes. Hi, good to see you again.
Thank you. My name is Graham Cox. I live at 1213 George Street. It's just right along the same canal system that Bob Stevens is talking about. And I every day walk out and look at the stormwater part. I just want to clarify so that the record is straight. Bob mentioned 6 alternatives. There are indeed more than 60 alternatives that the state agencies have approved for use in various circumstances. I've fallen down on a promise I made to City Council this summer to look at the pros and cons of each one of those and come back with a report. I'm still working on it. We gave you in the spring several sheets of paper that listed most of those alternatives, and they should be in the record. I was assured that they would all be entered into the minutes of the Natural Resource Board. I can give them to you again, but I'm a little disappointed that if they haven't been put in.
It may have been put in, it's my fault, I don't have internet connection. So if they put it in on the internet, I don't have it.
Well, I'm not sure what form the thing goes in, but you have them all. But I will happily give them to you again, so you got them. There are 4 general categories, one of which is biological, another is mechanical, another is chemical, and one of the means that we've even looked at for dealing with this, if you're dealing with the aquatic weeds, not the lichen kind of stuff that grows on the seawalls, but the actual stuff that grows in the water, there's a thing called the Asian triploid carp, which is used all across the state, that does not breed, so it doesn't interfere with the fish that are in there, and it eats everything in sight and dies. It has a fairly short lifespan, but it will eat all this stuff. If that's what's impeding the water flow, which I suspect it is, not the stuff that they think they're killing when they spray these seawalls along, and I know that they do it indiscriminately. They don't really have any sense as to what they should be killing with this stuff. They just spray, and we've watched them do it, and I just left a meeting in the San Sebastian River Friends group, and they say, yeah, we've seen them doing that. Why they just spray like that when it's not killing the things they're supposed to, we don't know. So we really got to get a better handle on defining the problem and what are the alternative solutions, and work on the pros and cons of all those alternative solutions. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody have a question? All right.
It was in May,
Any other, public input?
but we never got a copy of it.
Okay, we're up to new business, and we have, goals and objectives. I put this in because we have a lot of new people, and I was, really asking the rest of the board what you all, thought we should be accomplishing, what we should be doing, and, how we can do it, and, then what your reason was, if you wanted to, why you joined the board. And one of the reasons I know I joined the board was I was trying to help keep the rivers clean, trying to get Indian County, the lagoon cleaned up. That was one of the things I was really kind of interested in doing. Unfortunately, when you join the board, you kind of then, by the Sunshine Law, can't talk about it to other people. So, but anybody, maybe next meeting, are we doing what you all think we should be doing? What you want? Do you think the board's accomplishing what you have in mind?
Madam Chair, I think it would be good to review this, at our next meeting. It's great just to review it and read it, and we can determine as a board if we think we would recommend any modification.
Okay, thank you.
Is there a copy of goals and objectives for last year or for this year someplace? Or were they written?
No.
Goals and objectives for this year? No. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
May I make a comment?
Yes, Ann?
When I was on the board previously, our biggest goal every year, we had 5 cleanups of the island. We had adopted an island. That was one of our biggest things that we did every year, participated in all the cleanups. So that was really the biggest goal we had for the board. But we also, when we were live broadcasts, we used to bring in people to educate. We'd have speakers come in. We had Dr. Baker in, we had the ELC in here, we had the Elephant Preserve. They came in, spoke to us, the shrimp farm down in Fellsmere. So that was one of our biggest objectives, was we had an educational forum for 45 minutes almost every month until we started planning Earth Day. And it was a wonderful thing because it played all month long. So if somebody did happen to go onto Comcast Channel 25, they could watch it and learn something. I'm a little disappointed in that we aren't live broadcasts, I will say that.
Is that something we can bring up to city manager or the city council to maybe try to televise this board again?
I will ask the city manager, but that was a council call regarding, certain commissions and certain commissions not to be televised. A lot of it was based on staffing and hours needed to reduce cost. They only televise the city council and the planning and zoning commission meetings. All other commissions are not being televised, but that was a council call.
I believe there's just 2 not being televised, ours and the veterans, right? All the others are being televised?
Only the city council meetings and the planning and zoning commission are televised. All others are not being televised.
Oh, okay, I thought they put some back on. No, okay.
My own thoughts, if we did have special speakers in, if we could just have that portion of the meeting recorded so we could put it on our website would be better than
That would be good, too.
what we're doing now.
Again, I could ask. Again, it goes back to staffing time. That means someone has to be back there. It all came back to staffing. They don't have the staffing to run the AV and the televised equipment. And that's where it went to city council, and city council made the decision to only televise the city council meetings, planning and zoning commission meetings, and special workshops and if you have a special workshop, we could do that, and that may be an idea.
Have a special workshop. Okay. All right. Any other, ideas? Okay. Next meeting, we can bring some more up. Maybe, could we put that on our next agenda also to talk about how we can, get our educational effort out to the public?
I think that's a goal and objective, if that's what you want to do. I think that's a good starting point. I would like to then talk to the city manager and see if he's open to maybe televise a workshop, if you guys, agenda something that has some speakers. I think that's good focus in terms of trying to get something out to the public. But I'll ask the city manager. But again, the decision to not do the televising was from the council, so he's got to go back to the council and get council approval.
Okay. And, the Go for Tortoise Day on April 10th? Ann?
Yes, I will, get a hold of Alex and get all the information we need. It's just a matter of, downloading a proclamation and then having city council at a meeting declare it. Go for Tortoise Day, April 10th.
Okay, all right. Oh, thank you. Ben's gonna take care of that. It's a really, cute little, icon, I guess, a little. They asked us at the, when we attended the, class for Gophers, they asked the board if we would do a proclamation. And hopefully, maybe we'll do something about the Gophers on Earth Day. That's the other thing. Maybe we could do a little burrow and show because they show you how to make a burrow. Maybe we can make one and at least let the kids see it.
I think that's a great idea. I mean, I know Rose would have loved it. She was on vacation, but it was a great idea, and I think anything to interact with the kids and get them involved, see what lives in the Gopher Burrows, we can do all of that. And we're hoping maybe we might be able to get somebody from FWC to bring something. I don't know if they will or not, but we can try and check it out, so.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that.
Yeah, it was good. Staff matters?
Nothing tonight.
Susan, anything from you? No? Okay. Members matters, I'm going to start at the end. Dick? Do you have?
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing.
Rose?
One more thing back to Earth Day. Last year, we started at 8:30 in the morning. I think that was quite early. We did 8:30 to 3. Would anybody object if I backed it up a little bit later?
No.
No?
No, I think that would be a good idea. I think
Okay.
8:30 is awful early.
We'll talk about it then, and next month we'll agree to a time.
Okay. Any? Bob? Jim? Okay.
I'm glad to be back at this meeting.
Thank you. Yes. All right. I did do some other, I went to the Halloween. I was one of the judges for the Halloween costume. I hope they, I hope they, did when I looked to see all the Halloween, we picked all the little kids, what can I say? And that's when the Visa thing came about, because the winner of the Halloween costume got a $50 Visa gift card. And then a runner, second got 45, and third got 40, and then they went down to 10th place, and 10th place got $10. So I was thinking, okay, we could do something like that at Earth Day. All right. One other thing, Christmas, I know next meeting, but just in case we don't have our next meeting, you all still want to do the Christmas parade, am I correct? You all want to march in the Christmas parade?
I think it would be good to be represented.
Yeah, I do too.
Okay, so we can decide this meeting, I'm sure, to march in it. So just in case we don't meet next month, we do decide to march in the Christmas parade. The banner is back where I told you they put the banner.
Yep. I
personally will not be able to do it, because I can't walk that far.
Me neither.
So, but you all, even if, I'm not there, you all are going to do it. Thank you.
It would not be nice to change it up a little bit, because last year there were just 4 members walking behind the banner, and being that dark at night, we really weren't noticed.
Oh, okay.
So even if we just put some lights around the banner or LED
Something.
string or something to brighten
Yeah.
it up a little bit.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Sure. Okay.
How are we gonna go about doing this, since we can't talk to one another, so we're gonna have to decide now what we're gonna do, because
Well, we
can't
have
talk
next
between the
meeting.
sunshine.
When is the Christmas parade? Next meeting?
I
The 6th.
I don't know when the Christmas parade is, you don't know, do you?
Probably
Frank?
that following.
Wednesday.
It is the first part of December.
Yeah.
I don't think it's after your first meeting. Sorry. I think you have an opportunity for your December meeting to the
another
Christmas
meeting?
parade, yeah. But in this discussion right now, since it's not agendized, you guys are just talking about this.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Because I think Light Up Sebastian is...
The Lights Out night is the 3rd, right? Right, so they don't have the parade on the nights, Lights Out night, do they? Lights,
No, they don't have it the same day as Light Up Sebastian, that's all for businesses.
okay, all right. Okay, can we talk then about, do we have to buy the stuff to light the banner up? Does the board have to buy it?
I would say, here's my suggestion, this is not agendized and your time is short. If you guys are talking about just discussing, no action, that you want to buy glow sticks and some sort of lighting, and you guys are all in agreement on it, I think if you take it upon yourself, you have that money for marketing, it's mainly used for Earth Day, but this is still marketing the commission. I think it's justifiable if you go out, if someone takes it upon themselves to buy some glow sticks or lights or whatever, hold that receipt, bring it back to the next meeting, discuss it, make an action, we'll put it on the agenda, then it becomes okay. That's how I would do it.
Okay, all right.
On next month's agenda.
Next month's agenda, then we need to have the buying of the lights on it. Who's
Go
going?
out and get it and hold the receipt and get, reimbursed. I think that's the best way to do it.
Okay, who wants to do that?
I can do it.
Rose is going, thank you. Rose?
I mean, you could just go to the Dollar Tree and, some of those cheap
Yeah, I
places.
know. Okay.
Yeah.
They got battery operated.
I was at
Yeah.
Home Depot last night and they
Yeah.
have a wall full of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Reasonable price.
All right. Any, any other, items for next agenda? Any other ones we need to put on here?
We're going to add this parade.
We're gonna add the parade on and the lights and, what else did I put back on here? I put something else back on.
Oyster bag.
All the, stuff for our goals, our mission items need to go back on. Okay.
What was that again?
The mission items,
Well, that goes off of the board.
okay? Anything else? Then I say the, meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
No.
Yes, dear.